Last week, on Friday, you were in Washington, D.C., U.S., and you also signed Declaration of Principles together with your counterpart of DRC. Following the recent Declaration of Principles signed with DRC, as I said, what are the progress made so far in restoring trust and diplomatic relations between Rwanda and DRC?
Thank you very much. We indeed signed the Declaration of Principles in Washington on 25th of April. And according to that document, on the 2nd of May, that was the date to generate the first draft peace agreement that would be signed at the White House next month. And I think both delegations, at least for our side, we provided our inputs, our contributions to this text, which will be negotiated by experts in the coming days. And we will have a second ministerial meeting in Washington in the 3rd week of this month of May. And then to finalize that text, that peace agreement, which will be submitted to heads of state in mid-June for signing, together with President Donald Trump of the United States, but also with the heads of state of countries that have mediated in a way or another in this crisis. I mean, the President of Kenya for EAC, President of Zimbabwe for SADC, President of Togo, who is now the mediator of the African Union, and also the Emir of Qatar. So I think it will be a good moment to recommit ourselves to sustainable peace in this region.
Honorable Minister, security concerns and presence of non-state armed groups remain to be the central tensions in DRC, Eastern DRC. And what is Rwanda's current approach to implementing the joint security cooperation mechanisms, and how is it addressing the shared threats without infringing on sovereignty?
In Washington, 25th of April, when we signed this declaration, I made a statement where I insisted on the security issue. Although we are broadening a solution through business, I mean through economic cooperation between DRC and Rwanda, I said that the security issues remain paramount, and that we cannot have a shortcut to peace. And we are happy that in the Declaration of Principles there is a recognition by the parties of the security concerns of the other party. And we agreed in that document to deploy a joint security mechanism that would help us in addressing those concerns. Because we are dealing with a security threat for the past 30 years through the FDLR genocidal force that is still operating in Eastern DRC, that was even embedded in the Congolese army. So we hope that now with this new momentum for peace, we'll be able to really address this issue of FDLR.
Maybe it was something between your conversation and the DRC, your DRC counterpart, even in the US Secretary of State. Do they, I mean, DRC, do they recognize FDLR as a security threat to Rwanda? And do they recognize their collaboration, I mean, the FARDC and FDLR?
Although they have been making contradicting statements in the past, so even during the Rwanda process, we signed on 25th of November 2024 a concept of operation to neutralize the FDLR, and which will open the way to the lifting of Rwanda's defensive measures. So that means that the DRC, even back then, had accepted that the FDLR is a threat to Rwanda and that the FDLR need to be neutralized. Actually, this CONOPS was also integrated in the agreement or the communique of the EAC-SADC heads of state, and it's also taken into considerations in the discussions we are having in Washington, but also in Doha, because in Doha, there are two tracks of discussions. There's a track between Rwanda and DRC, but also a track between the FCM23 and the DRC, which actually is a good, positive evolution from the DRC side, because the Luanda and Nairobi processes have both collapsed because of the obstination of the DRC government not to engage in any kind of direct talks with the M23, AFC M23. So I believe that now we have a broad understanding on how to deal with the security issue posed by the FDLR, but then I hope that we will implement what we have agreed on or what we are negotiating in the current processes.
Well, the declaration outlines a commitment to regional economic integration and cooperation on natural resources. Could you share Rwanda's vision for unlocking mutual economic benefits with DRC and how international partners like US are contributing to this process?
Yes, this region is a rich region of business, of cross-border trade. So the Great Lakes region has really much potential. The issues we have is the issue of security that I was talking about. This is why we always say that we want to reap the economic dividend of peace. So, and we are happy that in the proposal made by the United States, we had this component of economic cooperation framework with collaboration between the two countries in hydropower, for example, the management of national parks, and even in the critical minerals value chain, which is important, that would enable the whole region to benefit from the wealth we have. And it's a good progress, but for that, of course, it's important that we solve the security issues that are on the way of this potential that we should be exploiting.
Have you been thinking on what, if this is implemented, what will Rwanda offer, what will DRC offer into this value chain of the natural resources, as you said, and other economic dividends that the both countries can reap?
That is being discussed, of course. But Rwanda and DRC, we are neighboring countries. We have wealth that we should be exploiting for the benefits of our two countries. We have the Rusizi 3 project, the hydropower project. You know, we share the Kivu Lake. We have methane gas in Kivu Lake. We share the national parks. We have also, we are countries rich in minerals, especially in critical minerals. So we can work together on finding a way to exploit that wealth we have, which could lead the way to the prosperity in the region.
We saw earlier some of Western news outlets highlighting that there could be, may I call it, the resumption of immigrant deal between Rwanda and the US. Is there anything about it?
That is a bilateral discussion between the US government and the Rwandan government. Rwanda has been engaged in migration deals with the UK, as you will remember, but even with the UN and the African Union for the evacuation of the migrants stranded in Libya. And we are now in talks with the US about a deal on migration. So it's not the first time that we'll be engaging in such a kind of deal, but this is a bilateral issue, bilateral negotiation that is not linked to a resolution of the conflict in the region.
Well, thank you so much, Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe, for making time with us and for highlighting some of the key elements about this declaration of principles you signed last week.
Thank you very much for receiving me.